Welcome. My name is Chris Kelly and I'm the publisher of Veterinary Advantage magazine. And we have a special guest with us today, Brian Sullivan, a longtime friend and a very well-known sales trainer throughout the healthcare industry as well as many other industries. Brian has written a book called 20 Days to the Top, has done sales training for a number of years, has his own radio program called the Entrepreneur's Hour in Kansas City, and we're pleased as can be to have him with us here today. So, Brian, welcome.
CK, always good to see you, my friend.
Well, it's great to have you here. Thanks for visiting.
Good.
And one little known fact, Brian was also an All-American lacrosse goalie in college at Gettysburg.
Oh.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anybody to not know that.
Yeah,
it was glory days.
Thank you.
But you're not far removed.
Tell my son that, okay?
Okay. So, Brian, you have been in the sales game for a number of years. As a sales rep, as a manager, doing your sales training, speaking, writing. And let's talk a little bit about how sales has changed, or has it changed? I mean, from your perspective, is the game today the same as it was 5 years ago or 10 years ago?
Yeah. I think the principles of sales and the skills that it takes to be a great salesperson are timeless. I think you'll get a lot of folks out there who will say, well, the game has changed. People aren't salespeople anymore. We need consultants. And so we change our acronyms, we change our lingos, but I guess a great story. If you think of Dale Carnegie, I'm sure a lot of viewers have gone through a Dale Carnegie course or read a Dale Carnegie book. Well, Dale Carnegie wrote in one of his books back in the 1930s, and I'll quote from the book, he says, "I go fishing up in Maine every summer. When I go fishing up in Maine, I like to sit on the dock and I like to eat strawberries and cream. But I found for some strange reason, fish don't like strawberries and cream. Fish prefer worms. So when I'm hanging on that dock up in Maine, I don't think about what I like. I think about what fish like." Now, if you think about that, that was in the 1930s, the simple premise of the story. Don't give your customer what you think is the best feature, the best benefit. You've got the greatest promotion. Don't make the mistake of taking your strawberry and cream, which is your product, your attitude, your enthusiasm, and walking into those vet offices and saying, "Hey doctor, can I have 5 minutes of your time? I have the newest gadget that will blank," right? Dale Carnegie was telling people to stop talking back in the 30s. That principle still applies today. And so, sure, are things a little bit different? They might be. Is the economy a little bit tougher? Absolutely. But still, whether it's the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, or 2010, you need to be the best questioner, the best listener, and quite frankly, the person who's going to retain more clients and steal customers from their biggest competitor are the ones who can dig deeper into what's in the client's mind and then just simply match it with all of the great solutions that I know your audience has in their bag. So, the principles are the same, CK.
In terms of digging down and getting to that level of information of what your customers what that customer truly needs, I think that lines up pretty well for a lot of the content that you provide to various industries and salespeople.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about some of the methodologies that you teach, precise selling, clear questioning, some of the things that are your core competencies that I hear every time I go to hear you speak.
Yeah. Very simple. It starts with what we just discussed. I think the greatest salespeople, first of all, are the greatest communicators, the greatest influencers of everyone they touch. I'm not just talking about the veterinary doctor or someone in the office. I'm saying it could be the person inside your office. It could be the person who's shipping the boxes. It could be the person who holds the door open as they walk into the vet's office. So to me, the greatest salespeople don't look at sales as just a one-time or an 8 to 5 deal. Everyone they touch, they are hitting in a positive way. And they build this network of people that really end up being great sources of information. They end up becoming great prospects, great clients. And so I think first you have to think of how you communicate. And I think it starts with a selflessness. Selfless people tend to ask more questions and are better listeners. So it starts there. Then I talk about, Chris, as you remember in my book, 20 Days to the Top, 3 principles. I call it 3 P's. Posture, which is your attitude and enthusiasm.
Yep.
Creativity and innovation. When you walk in that office, they have to sense there's something different in you. And quite frankly, it might be as simple as a smile and your body language being upbeat and positive, right? The second, I call it pick knowledge, which means you're the smartest person with your products, You know your products better than anybody. You know what's going on in the industry better than anybody. Because you read Vet Advantage, of course.
Thank you.
And then of course, you know your competition because you take time to study. And so posture is your attitude, enthusiasm, pick knowledge is your smarts, and then I call precise actions. It's when you walk in that door, I think the difference between top performing animal health salespeople and the average is that top performer knows exactly what they're going to do when they walk in that door. They don't just pop by to check in and I'm visiting and hey, how you doing? They're very specific in their objective. They know exactly what product they're going to try to lead that doctor to. They know what questions they're going to ask. They know how to overcome the common objections. And they go in wanting something different. And that's a very different mindset than just, hey, I've been in this business a long time. I know these guys, just popping in, checking. I don't want to be too pushy, right? If being a consultant means you no longer have to ask for the order, then the days of consultative selling should be out the door, in my opinion.
I think what you're getting towards too means that sales reps, if they act that way, are being very respectful of their customers and their customers' time. And I mean, we've written about that. And actually, Mike Mutual has, one of your counterparts, in Veterinary Advantage. And it is making sure that when you show up, you do have a plan.
Yeah.
That's very easy to read in my mind. Do you see a lot of folks, you know, going into their sales calls across industries, making that mistake, not being prepared, you know, not wanting to be the pushy salesman,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, you do. And in fact, you know, there's 3 types of salespeople that I talk about in the book. And of course, we all know that typical salesperson, the one who's walking in, hey, I've got the best product for you. It's going to make you different than every other animal health clinic. And right. So you have that sort of, that stereotypical salesperson, which certainly exists in any market. But really, there are more of what I call everybody's friend, right? This is the person who's walking in, rarely has an objective for being there. They're not focusing on maybe 1 or 2 products. They're hoping that something pops out of the call. They're more interested in the relationship than they are in the purchase order. And what I try to convey to those folks is they aren't incompatible. In fact, if you sell one of your clients a product that's going to make them more efficient, make them increase their workflow, it's going to make them more money, it's going to decrease their liability, make them safer, won't they be more apt to be friendly to you, right? So I say you build friendships by building value, right? They're busy folks, and they have a lot of friends. Do they really need us as their friend when we walk in the door? So stop worrying about the friendship, add value, and the friendship will take care of itself.